Hi everyone, my name is Rachel from the Marks Group Live, and I'm here today to teach you how to create a custom module in Zoho CRM. If you have any questions about this or any other topic Zoho related, please feel free to send us an email at support@marksgrouplive.com, or you can check out our website, marksgrouplive.com, and there should be a chat icon on every page where you can chat live with one of our trainers. After this video, please feel free to rate us. This will help us improve our video library. It will help other Zoho users find us. And yeah, it will help us give you the best quality product that we possibly could. All right, let's see what we're going over today in class. So today what we're really going to focus on is how do you create a custom module and what different field types are available when you're creating that module. So this is very broad. I'm essentially just going to go over all of the options that are available as you're creating your own module. We go over organization of modules in our web tabs and tab group class, so please feel free to check that out as well. Okay, let me make this full screen so you can see it a little better. All right, so here we are at our Zoho homepage. We use Zoho 1 at Marks Group Live, so you might use Zoho Plus. This might look a little bit different for you if you do. I'm going to try to point out any differences between the two programs, but if there's something that you come across as you're doing this yourself and you don't use this version of Zoho, please reach out to us and we will help you figure out any discrepancies if you can't do that on your own. All right. So to go to the customization part of Zoho, we go to our setup page. So on my screen, it is this screwdriver and wrench icon up in the corner. In Zoho Plus, it looks like a gear icon. So I'm going to click on that, and here we are in the setup page. The modules and fields customization live under the customization portion of this page. It's the very first thing. So you can see I'm highlighting it. It's blue right now. If you do not have an administrator access on your Zoho account, you might not be seeing all these options. And in fact, you might not be able to customize modules and fields yourself. So just wanted to let you know that if you are trying to follow along on your computer and you do not see this, that's probably why. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it is going to take me to the modules page. So if you look down, any module that has a green asterisk next to it, that means it's a custom module, something that you made yourself. Everything else is an out-of-the-box option for your modules. I want to just point out here quickly that while I'm going to create a new module just so I can go over all of the fields types, you might not have a need to create a new module yourself, but you might want to customize an out-of-the-box module, which you can do. All you have to do is click on the ... menu, and it will give you a chance to organize the layout, give you a chance to organize fields, you can rename it. It gives you a whole bunch of different things to do here. But you can only do that on the modules that are blue. Any module that's black, all you might be able to do is rename or potentially set the module permissions, which means who is able to see that module. So while you might not have the need to create a full custom module, you might want to add things or subtract things from the out-of-the-box versions of the modules that come. All right, so I will go ahead and create a new module. And I'm going to start up here, up at the top left-hand corner, which is I'm going to name this module. So I'm not going to do a specific example of a custom module that you might create. I've tried to do that before in other trainings, but it gets a little messy because I can't always give an example for why you might use every field here. So I'm just going to call this our TMG live. So it will ask you to do a plural form and a singular form. That is for grammatically when the name of the module is used throughout the CRM. TMG live is both plural and singular, so I'm not going to worry about that up here. I'm going to go ahead and click done. Oh, this module already exists. Huh. Oh, I think it's a web tab in our another module. So I'll just call this test and tests. All right. So this is the standard module layout. When you create a new module, this is how it comes. It gives you these particular boxes. It's hard to remove these fields. Some of them they won't allow you to. Some of them they do. Some of them they don't. But this is what comes here. You have a single line, which is generally like, what is the name of this? You can rename this field, but you can't delete it. So I'll call this record name. It'll give you the owner, which will automatically look up from whoever creates the record, will be automatically put as the owner. You can't modify that. It'll give you an email. It'll give you 2 email fields, which you can remove. It'll give you who modified last. It'll give you who created this. It gives you a currency option. It gives you an email opt-out, which is a checkbox, and it gives you an exchange rate. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the fields that I can. And how you do that is you click on the ... and it'll give you remove. Because I'm just going to add fields one by one. And I want to show you what that looks like. Zoho, the custom module creation is actually pretty easy in the CRM because it is really just drag and drop. All right, this won't let me remove the currency, but that's okay. So there are a few different ways that you can organize your module. The first is by creating sections. So sections, you can have everything in one section if you want, but this just looks a little cleaner if you maybe group like-minded or, related information into different sections. It'll create a little gap. It looks nice. So I'll just call this fields. And then all you need to do to add a new field is click on it and drag it to what section you want to add it to. So I'm going to start with a single line. This single line field is a single line of text. So, up here, we have it as the record name. How you might edit that is you go ahead and go to Edit Properties, and it will give you some information that you can edit. Obviously, the field label, which is the name that's going to show up here. It'll allow you a certain number of characters in a single line. In a single line, you can only have 255 characters. You could change that to 30 characters if you wanted. If you think you're going to have text with more characters in it, that's when we'll go to Multiline. Some other options that we have here are required. That means that if someone is filling out this record, they have to fill it out. Do not allow duplicate values. That means if that information or is already typed into the record, it won't allow you to type it in twice. This isn't something you usually need here, but it is important to know. This will encrypt the field, which means that it will encrypt it in Zoho, but it is important to know that if you export data from this custom module, the information will no longer be encrypted. And then the next is show a tooltip, which can give you, if you hover over, well, actually, it gives you a couple of different options. You can either have an info icon, which is like a little eye. If you see up here, I'm kind of hovering over an info icon up here. It gives you more information about what you might want to be filling in here. You can also have it as static text, which means it would just show up right next to the box. Kind of like up here where it says max of 255 characters, that's static text. So I'll go ahead and click done there. Next is Multiline. As I said, this is more information if you want to have more characters. So you have two options here. You can have it be 2,000 characters or 32,000 characters. That is a huge discrepancy. But you can set the character limit for this particular text box. And again, you can click if you want this to be required or click if you want a tooltip. All right, next is email. Email, phone, I'm going to add them all here, and URL are actually pretty helpful because they will automatically format the information that is entered for you, and it automatically will connect with whatever platform you're using with Zoho. So if you enter in an email here, I'll just show you any properties. They're not that much different. If you enter in an email here, when you are clicking on the record, if you click on the email in that record, it will automatically take you to the email server that you have connected with Zoho, be that, you know, one of the Zoho platforms or Gmail or, you know, Outlook. It'll automatically take you there and you can write an email to that particular person. For phone number, it will automatically connect you with whatever Zoho or whatever phone application you have with Zoho, so you can make a call right from the record. The URL will automatically format, and when you click on it, it will take you to that web page. It will open up a web browser and take you to the web page. I'm going to click on settings. I'll let you edit the properties, see if there's anything here. What the phone number does is it allows you to have a character limit, 30 being the most. Maybe if you're having an international phone number or if you have extensions. And the URL also gives you a character maximum. I do like to say that in the email, it allows you to do not allow duplicate values. This is kind of helpful to do not allow duplicate values so you don't have the same email twice popping up in your record. You might have an option for email 1 and an option for email 2. All right. Next is a pick list. A pick list is also known as like a drop-down menu. So once you drag and drop the pick list, it'll automatically take you to the properties page. And it gives you the option of what you would like to add for your drop-down menu. So you can add different things. You can add more by clicking on the plus button, or you can take it away by adding click on the minus button. This button will replace with another option. I'll just add a few more here. You can also add options in bulk. It gives you some options. There's predefined choices, which is days of the week, months of the year, time zones, states. This might be helpful. You know, maybe you are, you know, adding what state a different, like a, you know, in an address, you know, where's that state? You can do a drop down for all the states, you know, and it'll add them all in. Same with continents, time zones, months of the year, days of the week. This can be helpful. You can also add unused values. All of the options are in use here. That means that you can take options away here and they will go to the unused values and you can add them in. You can also do manual entry, which means you can just type in, you can add them, and it will add them in. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong here? Let's try that again. Put a 4 there. See how that does that. There we go. It adds it in there for me. So if you want to type without pressing the plus or minus button, you can add them in both there. You can set a default value, which means that one of these will automatically populate, or you can have it just say none, which means it will say none in the record, and then you click on the drop-down menu, and it gives you all of the options. And then here we have some other options. You can enable history tracking for pick list values. This means it will automatically track what you as a user are picking for pick list values and might suggest more commonly used answers. You can display values alphabetically instead of in the order entered up here. I think that's a nice thing to do just so it's easy to find things. You can make it required. You can show a tooltip just like in any other edits for a field. Now go ahead and click done. So there's pick list and then there's MultiSelect, which is essentially the same as a pick list, but you can choose multiple options. So let's see what options in bulk I can add. Uh-oh. There's no unused values because this is a multi-pick list is separate from a regular pick list. But if I were to create another single pick list, it would show you all of my other options. Let's add a few more. All right. And done. Okie dokie. Let's see what else here. We have date and we have date and time. This is helpful that they split it out for you because sometimes you might need to just have the date. Sometimes you might need the date and time. Maybe date and time is for when you're making a phone call to someone to reach out. Maybe it's when you are sending out a shipment, whereas the date might be, let's change this to date last contacted. And you might just need the date. So that's helpful. All right, so the next options are our number options. We have number, auto number, currency, decimal, percent, and a long integer. Let's create a new section, and we'll just have this be our numbers section. I don't know why this isn't, there we go. Numbers. So a number is just a single number. You can use it for something that's like a quantity. So maybe you're creating a custom, a custom module for equipment, and you are adding, how many pieces of a certain equipment someone is renting out or buying or something like that. It's just a plain number. Auto number is something that is generated through Zoho. So essentially what this is, maybe you are tracking the number of clients that you have. So let's say this is client number. You can add a prefix, which means like maybe there's a few letters. We'll call this client ID number. How about? So we might call this TMG, and then they'll start with 1. So the very first record that's created, the number that will be auto-generated would be TMG1. The next record that's created would be TMG2, TMG3, TMG4. And this goes up to about 19 numbers. And then you can also create a suffix as well. So if you are adding an auto number property to a module that's already been created, it will auto-populate this for all of your previous records. I'll add that there. One thing to know about auto number is you can only add one in per module. Next is currency. This is pretty self-explanatory. It is if you're using money, dollars or any other specific currency. It'll give you how many digits you want allowed, how many decimal places. It'll ask you to round, either, round up, round down, round off, or just the normal rounding, which is if something is closer to, above 5 or above, it will round up, or 5 or below, it will round down. You can make this required. You can show tooltip. There you go for if you're using money. A decimal is if you're using numbers that aren't money but have decimal places. You can, do that. Same with percent. And the long integer will allow you to put in a numerical value that is a very long number. It will give you the option of 19, I believe, different characters. Let's click on edit that, edit properties, just to be sure. Maximum digits is 18, excuse me. But you can also edit that too. Let's see. Next is checkbox. I will go ahead and create a new section here. I'll call this other. Next is checkbox. This is just a really easy check yes or no. So you might say, we'll call this contacted. And if you might check yes if they've been contacted. Up here they use it. Oh, I think I deleted it. They had it as like an email opt-out. So maybe they don't want to receive your company emails. You can click on that. Doesn't give you much options, just allows you to click it as a checkbox. URL we already talked about. It will hyperlink to any URL, maybe a web page for the record. Lookup fields are interesting. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to look up information from other parts of the CRM. So obviously after you name it, you can click the drop-down menu and this will show you all of the other modules that you have in your CRM. So maybe what I want to do is relate this to another, to your contacts. So what this will do is I can look up names of contacts and it will auto-populate them for me. Next is formula. This allows you to do, I'll put this actually in the numbers section. This allows you to create different mathematical formulas to get, to add, divide, get different information of your module together for to create another number. I'm not going to go over all of these formulas because there are a ton of different options, things you can do here. I'm actually going to create a really quick formula when we go over subforms. But if you're not familiar with creating these mathematical formulas, on a computer, I certainly would suggest going over the function usage, which is this yellow box down here at the bottom. If you were to click on, one of the functions, it will tell you what the function name is, what it does, and how it syntactically looks. It will show down here in the formula expression. One of the nice things about the formula is it'll allow you to check the syntax, which will allow you to see, did the formula that you entered in, did it work? If you have a specific formula you're trying to figure out and you just can't figure it out, this is a really great reason to send us an email. We can help you, make this module do what you want it to do. I'm going to head and not save this field because we'll do a formula down in our subform. User, we have a user up here. Do we? Put it up here in the information. This will allow you to either add single users or multiple users to this field, or to this record, excuse me. File upload allows you to upload files to the field. You can upload emails, you can upload documents, you can upload purchase orders. That's, a nice thing to have, to be able to upload files. All right, so before I go and talk, we do have MultiSelect lookup too. This, similar to lookup, allows you to look up and connect multiple things this allows you to look up multiple things and click on multiple things in your module. All right. So before I go ahead and go over subforms, which is another thing that you can add to your modules, I do just want to show you this little custom fields left and the unused fields. So unused fields show you what are things you have not used yet in your module. And then the custom fields left show you what is available. So we use the Zoho 1 Enterprise Edition. So we have a ton of, we have the most module options that are available to us. So essentially what this does is, on the left-hand side, it shows you how many different customizable fields you have left for this particular module, and then how many you have available. So, for the string fields, which are single line, pick list, multi-select, URLs, all of that stuff, we have 130 available to us. Limit, our max, we've used 8 of them, so we have 122 still available. If you go ahead and go on down, it'll show you what we have available to us. So there is one little way you can get around this if you run out of fields, is things kind of reset when you create a subform. So you might be able to get some extra fields by using a subform. It's not always the prettiest way, but if you're in a pinch, you can do that. So a subform, what is it? Why would you use it? A subform is a way to create another, mini form inside of the main record. I'm going to use the example that actually Zoho uses on their website when they're talking about subforms, because I really like it and I think it is straightforward. So let's say that this field that we just created is for a company that sells computers. And when you buy a computer at your company, if someone comes in and buys a computer, they are able to get add-ons. Maybe headphones, maybe speakers, maybe a mouse, maybe a keyboard, extra charger, extra, external hard drive. They're able to get those as a deal at a discounted rate. So while the original form, the original record, might be the record of the purchase of the computer, you might want to add a subform that goes over the add-ons and can calculate the extra price for you for this, for this purchase. So I'll call this add-ons. And so what we might do is we're going to go ahead and add some fields of what this add-on might be. So I'm going to start with a pick list, and I'll say, I'll call this add on. And I'll put the options as keyboard, mouse, headphones, external hard drive. All right. I'll set the default value as none. I'll display these alphabetically. And I'll go ahead and say done. The next thing I'm going to do is I will add a number field. And I will say this is quantities. So we'll add how many we have. I will add a currency and say this is the price. And I'll add another field, which is a function, a formula, sorry, and have this be, I'll call this total. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is when I click on this formula expression, I'm going to insert the quantity, and I'm going to multiply that by the price. And that will add, oh, I forgot to actually add the multiply. And that will give me the total price. I'm going to check the syntax, make sure it's okay. It says no errors. Click done. So the last thing you can do is add an aggregate field, which means it will add up or do some sort of function, multiply, divide, whatever you want it to do with one of these fields you added for your subform. So I'm going to go ahead and add an aggregate field for the total. So I'm going to have the sum, I'm going to have it add the total, and it will give me the total number price for the add-ons. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save and close this. I should have been saving all along. I would suggest save because even though Zoho is a cloud-based program, it doesn't save your work. And when I save this for the first time, it's going to ask me to set the module permissions for this particular module. And I'm going to go ahead and set this as administrator only. So that means that the only people who can see this module right now are people with the administrative access. I think that this is something really great to do until you're ready to roll out a new custom module. It's exactly the way you like it, because otherwise people will start adding records to the module, and you might be changing things around, and it just gets a little messy. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Taking a few seconds here because it is, we got a lot of information. All right, so it is there. Let us go back to, it didn't save because it said that the aggregate field formula expression is not valid. Let's change this to total price. Done. I want to make sure that this is correct. Here. It's the sum of the total is done. Why does this field not exist? The aggregate calculation will not be retroactively applied. Okay. Done. Let's save it. Sorry for that. The one thing that I do like about Zoho that just kind of showed is that if there's something that's wrong, it will walk you through it and pretty clearly explain what the problem is. But if you have questions, again, if you're getting like an error message and you don't know what's going on, please go ahead and reach out to us. That's what we're here for. All right, this is taking a few minutes to save. We can go ahead and play the Jeopardy music on here. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry for the technical difficulties as we wait here. It's giving us a little bit of a problem. Let's see. Let's refresh this. See what it does. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, sometimes with Zoho that is just a tip. Sometimes you have to refresh things. It gets a little stuck. Oh no. Hold on. Let's cancel here. Let's go to our test module. Let's make sure everything's saved. Oh my goodness. If it didn't, that would be awful. Whew. It did. Okay. That made me worried there for a second. Don't know what happened. Let's check out this test module and see what it looks like now that it's been created. All right, so there's no records in here yet, so it says create a test or import test information. I'm going to create a new record. I will call this the test of tests, and let's go ahead and see all of the different fields we created. So the test owner, it's a drop-down menu of all of the users. You would be able to change that. You can choose the currency you want to be using in this module. Another, as we said, drop-down menu of users involved. These single lines are information you can populate. Multiline will give you a large amount of text that you can write. Here's our first pick list. As you can see, all of the information. You can choose one. We have our MultiSelect pick list. You can choose multiple options here. We have our date. We have our date and time fields. Here are all of our number fields. We have our check box. We have our lookup fields. Here are all of our contacts. We have our MultiSelect lookups. It allows us to look at different accounts, and we can pick multiple accounts to assign them to. And here is our subform, our add-ons. So let's say we add on 2 external hard drives for $50 each. That's $100. I'm going to add a new row. This person also added on a keyboard. 1 keyboard at $25. And I'll add a row. They also added on headphones. 3 headphones for $10 each. And then I think our aggregate is actually what had trouble saving before. But if things weren't being so finicky, it should add this up, and we should have, the total price of these 3 columns down here. So that is our record that we created. Here it is in total. Let's see if it worked. No, the aggregate didn't show up. But that's okay. That is all right. One of the other things that we don't add in that aren't part of the customizations, they automatically add in themselves, are any attachments, emails that are from this record, activities that are created through this record, open and closed. We have Zoho surveys connected to our CRM, so we can create a survey from this record, send a survey to this record, take a survey for this record. and then it automatically shows the accounts that it is associated with because we had the MultiSelect lookup from the accounts here. So, that was a comprehensive overview of all of the different fields for the Zoho CRM. Thank you for sticking with us. If you are trying to create your own custom module and you are wondering, how can I best use this, or what can I do to get this module to do this specific thing for me, please feel free to email us. We are here to help support you create these things for yourself. So the email is down there, support@marksgrouplive.com. And again, please rate this video. Reach out if you have any questions, and I appreciate you taking the time to learn about creating custom modules in Zoho today, and we hope to see you again soon.